Oh my God, it's like knives going through your body when you enter. Some people just stood and came back, but I wanted to sit till here. I sat for 2 minutes. And then they announced that now girls who are all sitting, the 2 minutes is about enough, get out, because at 8 minutes your internal organs begin to pack. You cannot die there.
You have to plan your death.
Because if by chance you die there, then your body will be flown to the mainland, which is 3 hours away.
Every time the government, the local municipality has tried to, stop or ban plastics in this markets with the vendors, it stays away for a little while and then comes back.
Why?
Because of
Cheap.
convenience.
Because it's cheap?
Cheap and convenient. Until they find a substitute which is biodegradable and as cheap as plastic, we're not going to find a solution to this.
Kiran, before we start shooting today, I want to address this public service announcement that Kiran and I definitely look better than how we've been looking on camera. This I realized after going to the North Pole, where there were white light reflectors around me, all the snow, and even without makeup and just some basic sunscreen, I definitely looked more presentable than we do in the studio light.
So the solution is we have to shoot all our episodes in the North Pole.
On the North Pole, because at our age, that works best.
Slow reflecting, then me being dead as a corpse. You will have to do solo conversations.
You know something that I think just for context, we are catching up after really long, right?
It's been one of the longest breaks, I think.
Has it been?
I
Or
think
without me, time moves very slowly for you.
possibly
At a
but
glacial space.
without the reflectors.
Without the reflectors. No, so we are meeting after a while. You've been in Singapore. And I've been near the North Pole in a place called Longyearbyen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Longyearbyen, yeah, whatever.
Longyearbyen.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does it mean something?
No, there was a guy called Longyear who reached this place, which is officially belongs to Norway, but it doesn't require a visa for any nationality to go and work from there.
Oh, nice.
And it's an archipelago of islands.
Please don't say that doesn't require a visa to work from there. It will be inundated with these digital
No,
nomads.
nobody will live there and work there. It's minus 15 degrees on a good day. Wind chill factor feels like minus 20.
Oh, okay. So you cannot work there.
You cannot fall ill there. There's no medical facility. Mm-hmm. And you cannot give birth to a child there.
Okay.
And you cannot die there.
You cannot die there.
You cannot die there.
You have to plan your death.
Because if by chance you die there, then your body will be flown to the mainland, which is 3 hours away. I mean, at least Oslo is 3 hours away from there. The reason being that the climate there is such that the snow and the cold weather throws up the dead. And so the people who are already buried there from, say, 80, 100 years ago, whatever, they have to be buried every year.
My God, that's very troublesome. Also, this is where all the stories of the vampires keep coming up from,
Possibly, because you have to have no physical body to survive in a place like this. And it's dark 5 months in a year.
Yeah,
so we went, it was light all day long.
Okay, the midnight sun?
The midnight sun, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it was amazing actually. I used to always think it'll be disorienting. But it's actually quite fantastic. You have that many more hours in a day. So when you say, oh, it's going to be 12 now and it's still bright. And interestingly, I shot a time-lapse video of it. So the sun starts to go down. And it sets for a fraction of a second before rising again. So the sunrise and sunset are almost simultaneous. It's like a boiled egg, bounces back up and then moves up.
Oh, wonderful.
It's really such a spectacular phenomena that, you're like, firstly, my geography, my God. My understanding of astronomy, geography and all the school lessons have been forgotten. I had to Google a fair bit to understand why it happens. Please don't ask me to explain it. But it happens.
It happens because of the tilt of the axis.
That's true. So there's tilt. That
That's
I
all you
Googled
know.
and found.
That's
My
all
God,
you
I'm
need
so
to know.
impressed. It's like I'm with a scientist.
No, that's all we need to know.
But yeah. So I know, but I was trying to understand. I know it's happened because of the tilt of the axis, but if this is the sun and the axis is tilting, it still didn't explain to me how the sunrise and sunset can happen in such quick succession. That I couldn't wrap my head around. So, if you have an explanation for that,
I don't. I
Thank
shall
God.
need to
Otherwise
go
you
and-
only keep making me sound stupid.
No.
But I saw the Svalbard seed vault.
Lovely. Did you get allowed inside?
No, you can't. You can't go inside. They have it's called the Doomsday Vault. And it's beautiful. It's perched on top of this mountain. And in the front of it, there's just a river. And there is, the river freezes over, of course, in the cold. And then there are taller mountains and glaciers. They keep the temperature at minus 18 degrees. So if the world ever comes to an end, people who want to now start farming again can find seeds. But the irony is, I read about this somewhere that because of how quickly polar ice is melting, it became submerged with underwater partly, and then they had to. So imagine the thing that's created to save us from doomsday is
already subject to doomsday.
And they say it's sort of remote control managed and all. So not just anyone can, like tourists can say, oh, can I look at the seeds and go in.
But okay, now doomsday has happened, which is what I can't understand. And a small band of humans have survived. They get to Svalbard to get to these seeds.
First, so that is only a challenge.
Yeah, how are you going to get there? Okay, all the ice is melted and you've swamped there, or you've taken your canoes there, whatever. But this has got so much security. Layers and layers of that vault. How are they going to sort of bash through and get through those seals?
Yeah, I know. One is that, and the other is, they've kept them. The reason it's there is because of the climate. So maybe they're assuming that doomsday will hit the rest of the world first, because I think Antarctica and the Arctic will at best be without ice, but they won't get flooded. Flooding will happen down below.
It will happen below.
Like Maldives will be under the water.
And hopefully Bombay also should be underwater given the mess we are in.
Most certainly we will be.
10 feet is the conservative estimate of the sea rise if the poles if they thaw out.
Yeah. If they do not control the temperature rise right away and bring it down to, so it's risen by 3 degrees, if they don't bring it down by exact half of it, if not lesser, within the next 5 years, it's already too late, but that's especially too late.
Oh, and Britain is doing something to dim the cloud light.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was so bizarre.
How do you dim
like
the
put
sun?
some sunblock in. No, it is similar to putting sunblock in the atmosphere, so that the light of the sun is reflected back. Meaning we won't change. We won't stop deforestation, which creates carbon dioxide. We won't stop mining in all sorts of places, including the ocean beds. But
We'll put sunblock on the clouds.
We'll put sunblock on.
It's good for our skin, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if you tinker with nature, I don't know what else it'll be bad for. But Kiran, what really, when you go to these environmentally fragile zones, I know there's an argument to be made, why did you go there? I understand, I confess that until and unless you go there like I did, and then you speak to people who are working for to protect the planet from severe climate change, you do not understand what it means really. Because when you sit in Bombay and you hear, oh, the ice caps are melting, it's one thing. So the polar bear population is starving.
Yes.
Polar bears need floating ice islands to catch seals, right? And it's really cute, actually. You see those seals sunbathing on the little platforms of ice.
And where comes a polar bear and grabs them?
I'd say the polar bear can disappear in that white thing, right? But now the polar bears are not finding enough. There's summer ice, there's no summer ice.
I remember a very sad video I saw some time ago about a polar bear wandering through Siberia, thin as ever, and starving obviously, and looking for food, foraging for food, and catching some farmers' chickens. So obviously the poor chap had not got enough food where he was.
Yeah, and there are a lot of polar. There's an environmentalist. Her name is Helde Strom. She is called a citizen scientist.
Okay.
Why? Because a passionate Norwegian who moved to Svalbard to work towards saving the Arctic tundra. And she did something called overwintering. She came and spoke to our group. She did something called overwintering. Overwintering is when you go and stay on the edge of the world in the most inhospitable of climes, which is like minus 30, 40 degrees, whatever it gets at the peak of winter. And you stay in a log cabin without any water or electricity. So she invited a friend of hers who was doing similar work in Canada, And they lived like that. Though she's married and all, happily married. She said, I need to do this. And they did a total of 19 months. The dog, they have a husky and these two ladies. So she said, I didn't have a shower in those 2 years, in 18, 19 months that she was there. And I think they're funded by agencies who want them to do, by scientific agencies and organizations, they want them to conduct research. And so one of the days she opened her cabin in the morning, there was a snowstorm outside and there was the polar bear sleeping at her doorstep.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then she shared footage of that. It's not lovely. It's a very ferocious creature.
Yeah, we just sort of lulled it by all the comics.
It just looks really cute.
Yeah.
But it's scary. And now, because they don't have enough food, they've started wandering into where the limited human population of Svalbard lives. And just one day after we returned, of course, we had no polar bear sighting. But one day after we returned, someone shared a footage of a polar bear wandering through town. So, so this is strictly mandated by I think the governor of Svalbard, whoever is like the head of the
Chief Minister, Prime Minister.
No, municipality kind, whatever the administration there, right, running the space. Everyone has to walk around with a gun, like one of those air gun kind of things, because you can get chased by a polar bear at any time. You cannot take alcohol outside of the pub or whatever, or the hotel. You can't like buy a can of booze and drink in your car, not allowed. And all homes use garbage bins that polar bears cannot open. No cats are allowed in Svalbard.
No cats.
No cats, because the bird population is so delicate and the biodiversity that cats will eat those birds up.
Okay.
So no cats.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, there are a lot of rules.
My God.
Yeah.
Living in
So I'm just
tundra.
saying that not anyone can get off and go and live there, which is a great thing. Also, there's not one tree that grows. It's stark as stark can be. It's Mission Impossible. They've shot Mission Impossible, the one that's dropping in May, later this month. I think 18th May is the release. That Mission Impossible has been shot over there. But you know, Tom Cruise has a penchant for going to these ajeebo-garib places.
And then it'll become like the James Bond island in Thailand where all the tourists will go to see. Yes, Tom Cruise shot
No one will go here, and I don't advise anyone should go here because it's not a place for the faint-hearted.
It's very cold, yes. It's uninhabitable.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
And
expensive to get to. It's cold. It's uninhabitable.
And it's, what else?
In the Northern Lights, during the dark months, it seems, they have a lot of Northern Light flares. And actually, people who are intrigued about the place can read up on it or go on YouTube and look at it. But Indians like to have stuff to do.
Yeah, and there are no Indian restaurants. There are no thali joints there.
No.
You will not find a thali joint. No. No Kathiawadi thali joint.
No.
What is the point of going there?
Well, you know, I like all these places.
I was looking at your pictures very enviously, I must confess.
Where?
On Instagram. Yes. On your Instagram, guys, if you don't follow Shonali, please look at her Instagram and just like rue your life that you're not going to all these lovely places.
Yeah, but listen, I'm also that way, whether it's climbing, what's that place in Bhutan, Tiger's Nest or this. It's not like picnic stuff. You need to be really made. I have military blood in me, so I do it
She's like really fit and she's doing all these hikes.
It's not just fit, I like challenges. So, for example, a lot of people in our group took the 3-hour snowmobile, but
you took that?
My husband and I and a couple of us, we took the full day snowmobile thing. And then you have to basically drive in a file and you have to reach the ultimate glacier. Beyond that, you can't really go, where you get off from your bikes. And you have to keep pausing in between. Thankfully, despite all the layers, there are so many layers of clothing, you feel like you're going to the
You're
going to
mummified
moon.
anyway.
Yeah, mummified, even worse actually. You feel like a cosmonaut. So you're anyway covered in layers, but thankfully the grips for the handles are heated. So at least that part. But you take your hand out of the glove to take a picture and then you realize that your finger has no sensation. So Kiran, I went on a dog sledge, husky, because I love dogs. At first I was chary about it. I said it's cruelty to dogs, but it's not. Those huskies live in the snow and they are so desperate for a run that when they see visitors, they start barking and there's a cacophony because they're like, take us quickly for a run. So 6 of them, and then you're hitched on to your sledge, and then there's one rider who rides it. That could be you or your spouse or your friend. And then, so I was busy shooting videos. And this finger, of course, I had to keep retrieving one hand from the glove because no matter how much they say a glove can operate on a phone or a camera, it really doesn't. By the end of my husky ride, of course, my fingers were really like in agony. Okay, I was sitting on them. I was wearing two levels of socks. My toes were like falling off from the cold. It was really bitter cold. And then there was no sensation in this finger for 2 days, or rather, there was a stinging sensation, like some jellyfish had bitten me. And then I asked one of the locals, and they said that you were this close to a frostbite.
So guys, you have to go and see her Instagram, and you have to see those pictures and those videos, because she almost lost her finger for that.
But having said that, I took the polar plunge.
Yes, you did.
And-
My God.
And I survived.
My God. That was like courage. What was the temperature like?
Outside it said minus 15 degrees, but feels like minus 17 or 18 because there was some wind. It was at midnight, so we all had dinner. And obviously, before the polar plunge, you don't drink alcohol, so your body is not heated up that way. So you go into a sauna, and then you go straight into the ocean. It's a backlet of the ocean, right? So you go right into the beach. And so I wasn't sure I could do it, because even in Bombay, I have a hot water bath. Do you have a hot water bath?
Always. Even in summer.
Same. I don't like this shock ka feeling on my body. But a couple of girls were going. By and large, in our large group, nobody else was going. Some guys and a handful of... And they said, oh, how can you not do it? How can you not do it? And I wanted to experience it because it brings down your body's inflammation for about 6 months.
So it's like a cryotherapy kind of a thing.
Yes. And
Okay.
so I threw on my swimsuit, but the sauna, people kept unzipping the curtain, so it wasn't getting heated enough. So at one stage, I kept thinking it'll get hotter. It didn't. Then I said, forget it, I'll just go. They said, put your socks on and go so the pebbles don't cut. And a friend of mine kept saying, Shinali, it's all in the mind, it's all in the mind. And so I said, yeah. I just didn't look at people. There were a lot of our friends gathered around the water. There was an announcement going on. I just looked at the water, held my friend's hand, and I led her in. Oh my God, it's like knives going through your body when you enter. Some people just stood and came back, but I wanted to sit till here. I sat for 2 minutes. And then they announced that now girls who are all sitting, like 2 minutes is about enough, get out, because at 8 minutes your internal organs begin to pack up.
My goodness.
But the water temperature was 0. Water is always warmer than what it's outside.
0?
Yeah.
0?
2 minutes. I kept saying Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And in my head, Kiran, I'm not kidding, some rockets were going up.
So
all
now
the blood.
you are age reversed for how many centuries after this?
It's up to Nirmal and his light, actually. The studio light will just age me, like undo everything. So, yeah.
6 months of cryotherapy.
Well, so Kiran, just 1 week before I left for this trip, sorry, I'm just talking so much and taking so much footage. After this, I promise I'll zip my mouth and Kiran will talk. I did...
Kiran doesn't go to such exciting places.
No, I did this less exciting thing in Bombay. The Fairmont Hotel has just opened. And I tried the cryotherapy there. That is minus 85 degrees C.
Minus 85?
Yeah. And it's really interesting because there's this chamber. They give you this one Sardarji ka kacha type boxer. And I said, this is very unflattering. They're like, but ma'am, you're going in such a cold thing. How does it matter? I said, but it's still very unflattering. So they give you that and you put on some socks with carpet slippers. Ideally, you should wear Crocs, but this is just a newly opened, gorgeous hotel and they were just getting their stuff together. So, so I wore that. And they gave me like a small tube top. You cover your extremities with earmuffs. And are there gloves? I'm forgetting. I don't think there are gloves, okay? So now they tell you that when you go inside this chamber, it's minus 85. So when they open it also and you get the first gust of that icy chill, you die. Even morgues have it better, okay?
So then they push a dead body inside.
A body will also fall out of it because even bodies aren't used to be kept at minus, what is it, minus 85?
What is minus 85?
So 3 minutes is the most you're allowed. And see, the human mind, there's a red light at the bottom of this glass cage. And they ask you to go in and they say to start jogging because you have to keep moving, otherwise
you'll freeze off.
So you're just jumping and jogging and there's like flakes of ice, getting into your feet and all that. You're jogging and the red light just moves up like this as the time passes and at 3 minutes it touches the top. It's not heated, but it psychologically helps you to look at that. It feels warm.
Really?
Red color feels warm. It's psychological. So as the red light keeps rising, I just felt warmer psychologically. I did 3 minutes and they were like, you know what? This is amazing because our local staff and whatever who've tried it haven't really gone beyond 2 minutes or 1 minute. But I did it because my mom takes ice baths. So I thought if she can do it, I can definitely try it.
That's
So if I'm looking 25 to you today, my dear Kiran,
You're looking 16.
you only have to go to the Fairmont.
I am not going for minus 85. If I'm going to die freezing, I'll go into space and die.
Yeah, what is the temperature in space?
Minus, I don't know, but it's colder
I'm
than
very
that.
disappointed you don't know this.
I don't know.
Given that you know most of these things, making me sound dumb and daft and ignorant.
Rubbish.
Okay, now,
You
Shonali
don't
will
have to
zip
be
her
a
mouth.
nerd.
I'll
like
zip my
me.
mouth now. Chalo. You tell me, what have you been up to?
Nothing. I went to Singapore where we only bought sneakers and more sneakers.
You bought an extra piece of luggage, I believe, on your way back?
Yes, because we had so many sneakers
For whom?
for my son. And we reached home past midnight. He woke up at the crack of dawn to order shoe crates to keep his new sneakers.
But fair enough.
But what dedication to sneakers?
But you're a very nice mum. Because if my kids ask for a sneaker, they get one pair.
No, it's not up to me. It's up to the father. So the father's a very nice father.
Are they the same shoe size?
Half a size different.
Also, they can't share.
They share.
That's why.
That's the secret.
Okay, then it's fine.
Huh.
Then
But
money well spent.
I don't know about the well spent part of it because like my living room is now full of sneaker crates.
Okay, so what? You can't slip into them. You have very tiny feet. What did you buy for yourself?
Nothing much, but I was so amazed by that city.
Of
It's so green.
Did you see a crow?
Not that I remember.
Singapore has no crows.
There are no
or
crows.
sparrows.
No, there are no birds.
Because they shit on the streets.
Really? So how
But
do
they have a bird park.
They
Beautiful
have a bird park. They have a botanical garden, which is like wonderful.
Yeah.
But no birds.
Yeah.
No, there were birds in the botanical garden, but they were very pretty birds.
They're very well behaved birds.
Yeah, and they were very colorful, picturesque birds
Yeah.
of various exotic species. No crows, no sparrows. No pigeons too, I suspect.
No, they aren't.
Interesting.
I don't. My sister lives there, right? She hasn't been able to crack it.
That's interesting. How do they do this? Do they have like special pellets they keep out which are marked for sparrows?
No one's ever seen this happen, like them disappear or whatever. They just aren't there. I don't know.
My God, this is a Black Mirror episode.
It is, right?
No sparrows, no crows, no pigeons.
Yeah.
Just a lot of greenery.
There are lots of theories about it, but people who live there love that city, that country.
It is a lovely city.
They love
It's
it.
very organized. It's very convenient. There are no traffic jams.
So much greenery.
Yeah, I could not for a single time give the excuse that I was stuck in traffic, which was very disappointing because I had to confess that I am genuinely late.
Yeah.
And
You were there for a long one, no?
Yeah, I was there for more than a week, I think, a week or so.
Yeah.
So whenever I met people, I mean, Bombay used to sing
But
traffic.
you're always on time, Kiran. I'm the one who's late.
That's here because I'm next door. It's like a hop and a skip and a jump for me. You come all the
You
way.
were on time in the old studio also.
That's
so
because that was far away and I would panic. I'd be late.
today's the first time I've beaten you to it. The first time.
May this be the first of many.
No, I'm sorry. I don't like sitting and just waiting.
Some revenge I have to get.
I know. ठीक है, चल done.
Done.
I'll grant you that.
I'm still thinking about the North Pole and the thawing of the ice and
Yeah.
everything. It's still worrying me, Shonali, because a lot of crazy things that are happening because of this. Permafrost is disappearing.
Yep.
All the viruses that were dead and gone are coming out from that
They are.
permafrost. Now, the greedy countries are looking at the Arctic lines opening, shipping routes.
Correct.
Therefore, I think Mr. Trump is very keen to get Greenland.
That's right.
Now, when that happens, when a shipping route cuts through, what is going to happen to that region?
I started to think Norway will put up a fight, Denmark will put up a fight. Greenland belongs to
Sweden?
Sweden. No,
Denmark.
Denmark. Sorry. Denmark will put up a fight because Greenland belongs to them. Norway will put up a fight. Look, I just find two things I want to say. That for COP30, they cleared the whole Amazonian forest. When people are in charge of reversing climate change, organizations are doing this, then what hope do we have in this world? Right? Now, listen to this, Kiran. I found this very fascinating. UK renewable energy share of renewable energy is 46.4%. That's not bad. Solar and windmills and all, hydro. European Union is 45%. China is 35%. India is at 22% because it's also very expensive and wealthy nations need to really help countries like
Well,
ours.
that's not a bad ratio.
But United States is 21%.
We're better than the United
And after
States.
Trump, it'll probably drop further.
We're better than the United States.
Exactly what I wanted to
Nice.
say. Yeah.
Some parameter.
Yeah.
And they deny us visas.
You know, Kiran, but this plastic, okay, I want to understand this. Since you are Miss Know-It-All on this podcast, tell me.
Twice I have known things. I don't become Miss Know-It-All.
Yeah, but you've known things like I really didn't know, even in school. I can't even claim to have forgotten them. This is what I want to ask you. The plastic that washes ashore is only about a fractional percentage of what lies in our real oceans, for real, right? And a lot of this garbage has floated all the way to the Arctic. So they have found all sorts of fish and birds and seals with plastic inside them, because this lady was explaining, Helde, that plastic, when it decomposes, starts to smell like fish.
Oh.
And then planktons grow on top of that.
So they consume it.
So they consume it and then they die because of it.
How terrible.
What do you think is stopping governments from banning plastic outright for consumption of the larger population? And maybe you can say that medical plastic we will allow. And maybe you can say that we will have to allow it in aviation, for certain parts of the plane, or God knows what, disposable soap or whatever. Why are governments not doing this?
The local municipality has tried to, stop or ban plastics in this markets with the vendors. It stays away for a little while and then comes back.
Why?
Because of
Cheap.
convenience.
Because it's cheap?
Cheap and convenient. Until they find a substitute which is biodegradable and as cheap as plastic, we're not going to find a solution to this.
But the damage is done to the marine life already.
Who cares for the marine life? People are
We don't
looking
even
at
care for human beings, actually.
Yeah, they're looking at convenience, they're looking at practicality, they're looking at economics.
Okay, can they at least ban plastic bottled water? A lot of companies are using glass.
Transport, how do you transport
Wait,
so much
I want to
water?
show you this bottle of water. No, you do. This. And even Mulchi water. I don't know what this is. This is Malaki.
Okay.
Right?
But how cost effective is this, Shunali? Who will be able to afford this?
No, so then maybe we just start carrying our water from home.
When you're traveling long distance, what do you do? Not everybody's
How did people manage back in the day? They went by
carried those
ship now?
goat wala.
Bags.
Goat stomach ones, in which there was daru and water.
That's a good one.
So we're going to get back
Actually,
to that.
I don't mind that.
It looks nice also, no?
Yeah.
A lot of swag in that.
Uniqlo will introduce it.
Yeah.
Goat fanny pack. Fanny pack. Goat stomach fanny pack.
That may be an
No,
option.
but when people went on long sails, I mean, they used to travel Vasco da Gama. What did they drink on the sea?
I guess they carried barrels of whatever, wooden barrels of water, whatever.
So can't they carry a barrel of water on every plane and give people water in steel glasses?
A barrel. As it is, they're charging us for every ounce of luggage.
Acha, but I'm just saying. Okay, look.
There is a will, there will be a way. Right now, there is no will. That is the
But
bottom
it'll be too
line.
late. 5 years is all we have.
5 years they're in power. The governments, they're happy with their 5 years in power. They're not
That's
looking
also
long term.
I know.
Nobody's looking long
I
term.
think I'm just an idealist.
We're all idealists.
I have a question for you. Chalo.
Hey Ram. This
What
is
do you
harmless.
think is worse for the planet? Online shopping or in-person shopping?
Depends on where you're shopping from. If you're shopping fast fashion,
Anything in Bombay. Anything. Buying Chawanprash in a glass bottle. Chalo. Online shopping or in-person shopping?
this is a trick question, isn't it?
No, there's a definite answer to it.
I would
I've
think
decided to sound more intelligent than you on the podcast. I'm very hurted that I didn't know there's a fourth state of matter.
neither did I until I read up on it.
The ignominy of it won't leave me anytime soon.
But I was correct.
I know. What is the fourth state again?
Plasma.
Plasma.
There are 7 actually.
That you did later research. Now don't throw
No,
that
I
in.
knew it, but I didn't know the exact terms. But I forgot about it at that
Which
point.
are what exactly?
Bose something, Planck quark something, and fermionic something, which I've forgotten now. Again.
Oh, I also know 18 other galaxies outside of our planet. Our
wonderful.
galaxy.
Tell.
Something?
Something.
Something. Something. Something. These days, by the way, most of my conversation is like that because I can't remember people's names and things. I keep saying something. What's his name? Okay.
No, the something is a real thing because my mother would say that, and I would say what something, and now I am saying something. So
Yeah.
we have come to
You
the
become
age
your
of
mother?
we have come to the age of something.
We have come to the age of something.
We are something.
we are. How old are you? For the longest time, we'll be 40 something, 50 something.
Yeah, we will be something.
Like, I actually heard a 59-year-old woman say she's 50 something. But she is 50 something.
She is
a lot
50.
of things.
Yeah.
50 a lot of something.
Lot of something. Many things. 50 many things.
50 many things.
Okay, we're talking gibberish now.
Okay. So we were talking about, so I will give the answer to
Please
that.
cut out all that rubbish.
Keep it. It's fine. Because, generally the standard of people's humor these days has really fallen. So we need these bad jokes for people to laugh. Guys, I hope you found this rewarding.
No, personal emissions was the best part of it.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
So, online shopping,
Is more.
no. If online shopping is clubbed together, firstly consumption has to reduce. So by online shopping, if you sit and shop every day, it's certainly worse for the planet than going to a store. But if you can club all your online purchase together, or if you go to a store, you can club it all together, it's different, but that doesn't normally happen. So if you're on Amazon and you can club all your purchase together, it's better for the planet than driving all the way to some store and buying and coming back and driving again and coming back.
Interesting.
And also, in your own immediate neighborhood, naturally it's better to walk and go to the place and get your whole supply for the month or whatever. That's different. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because they say the emissions from traveling to a place and coming back, and you're not even taking public transport, you're going in your own car. So supposing you say, I'm going to Columbia Sports and I need to get myself, supposing you live in Thane and there's no Columbia Sport there and you need to go to Kulaba to get something, naturally that's logic. But now they have a mall everywhere.
They do, and I'm just thinking now that you raised this question about the guilt I should marinate myself in because of Blinkit and Zepto.
I think just keep adding stuff you want to a basket and learn to have the patience that it may still take a week or 2 weeks to come. You can survive.
Absolutely.
I think we've gotten used to want it now, have it now, Blinkit, get it now. Yeah. How did we manage before Blinkit and Amazon? We could wait. We had patience.
Absolutely. When I go to places where there is no Blinkit and Amazon, I'm like a fish out of water. How do I survive here?
Where are these places? In which jungle are you going to?
No, some small towns.
It's everywhere.
No, it isn't in some places.
Where? Blinkit, though I understand. Amazon?
Amazon I have not ordered, but Blinkit, Zepto, when they're not there. And
yeah,
I'm
Blinkit,
like,
Zepto is not everywhere. Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Actually, I have to get down and go to a store and buy it. I need to get out of that mentality.
Yeah. But I think we fast that the city courier is actually good for the planet. Because earlier, our cars and all used to go up and down to deliver things. Now, at least one guy is collecting all these parcels and doing the deliveries, right?
Absolutely.
So there's something good in it too, I guess. But let's stick to this and hold each other accountable.
Done.
Every week, I will send you a message about my and my family's Amazon purchases.
And I will send you whatever.
How many times you use Blinkit?
Done.
Done. Okay. Good girl.